The shift does not occur out there in the world. The shift occurs within you. 7 minutes ago, the date marked a completion of a cycle, a moment where the numerical energy of seven, three times, amplifies a frequency of spiritual alignment and awakening. This is not about luck or superstition. This is about understanding that the quantum field operates on the principles of energy and vibration. You are standing at a doorway right now. Most individuals go through life unaware that their reality is a perfect mirror of their internal state. The energy of completion that is present in this moment is an invitation. It is asking you to look at what you have been holding on to. What version of yourself are you still carrying? The past is a record of learned behaviors and emotional reactions stored in your body. To truly experience a shift in your reality, you must first acknowledge that the familiar self is the biggest obstacle. Consider for a moment that your thoughts are a program running in the background of your mind. Those programs are based on past experiences. You keep thinking the same way, so you keep feeling the same way. Those feelings then drive the same actions, and you get the same life. The 777 energy acts as a disruption to that program. It is a cosmic nudge, a surge of potential that says the old cycle is over. Completion means something has ended. The question you must answer is this: are you willing to let it end? The truth is harsh but liberating. Nothing changes until you change. The external world will not rearrange itself to make you comfortable. It is waiting for a signal from you. That signal is your energy. If you are feeling anxious about the future, you are signaling more anxiety to come. If you are feeling stuck and bitter about the past, you are signaling more reasons to feel stuck and bitter. The activation happening now is a chance to send a different signal. What if the reality you desire is not something you have to work to get? What if it is something you have to become? Your future self, the one who has already solved the problems, who has already healed the wounds, who has already achieved the state of peace and abundance, that version of you is not separate. That version of you exists right now as a probability in the field. The only separation is your consciousness. You are living in the past while your potential lives in the present. This moment right now, this exact second, is the 0 point. It is the neutral space between the old reality and the new one. In this space, you are not defined by your history. You are pure awareness. From this space, you can choose. You can choose to pick up the familiar burden of your old personality, or you can choose to stand in the unknown and simply be aware of the energy of your future self. That future self does not worry. That future self does not complain. That future self does not feel lack. That future self feels whole, feels capable, feels free. Can you feel that for a second? Not as an intellectual concept, but as a real sensation in your body. That sensation is the shift beginning. That is the activation. The quantum field does not care about your personal history. It does not care about your excuses or your justifications. It only responds to the signal you are transmitting. This is the science of creation. Everything in your reality, every object, every circumstance, every person began as an invisible wave of potential. Only when observed does that wave collapse into a particle, into a thing, into an experience. You are the observer. Your observation is guided by your state of being. To understand why your reality is not shifting, you must understand what you are observing. If your attention is fixed on the problem, on the lack, on the disease, on the broken relationship, you are collapsing wave after wave of more of the same. You are giving your energy to the very thing you claim you do not want. The universe is merely a mirror. It reflects back to you the contents of your consciousness. If you see a reality you do not like, do not blame the mirror. Change the face you are making. The old personality is held together by familiar thoughts and familiar feelings. These create a known chemical state in your body. That chemical state is your addiction. Your body becomes accustomed to the stress hormones of worry, the heavy weight of sadness, the sharp sting of anger. It knows these states, it memorizes them. So even when you try to think a positive thought, your body, with its chemical memory of the past, pulls you back down. It says, no, this is not who we are. This is why affirmations alone fail. You can say, I am wealthy 1,000 times, but if your body feels the fear of being broke, the signal of lack is stronger. The body is the unconscious mind. It is the mind you have not yet changed. Until you change the feeling in your body, you have not changed your mind. The 777 energy, this moment of completion, is designed to help you break that addiction. It is a frequency that disrupts the chemical pattern. When you feel that surge of potential, that subtle tingle of possibility, your body may resist. It may create anxiety because the unknown is unfamiliar. The body equates the familiar with survival. Even if the familiar is miserable, it is safe because it is known. To step into a new reality, you must teach your body that it is safe to feel a new way. You must demonstrate through feeling that the new energy will not kill you. The observable effect of the shift is not magic, it is physics. When you change your energy, you change your electromagnetic field. That field broadcasts a signal out into the quantum field, like a trax like. The field then orchestrates events, people, and circumstances that match your frequency. This is not something you force. This is something you allow by becoming a match to the desire. Most people are trying to get something they have never been. They want the result without the transformation. You cannot vibrate at the frequency of lack and attract abundance. You cannot vibrate at the frequency of sickness and attract health. The law is impersonal. It does not bend for your wishes. It only responds to your being. So the question returns to you, what are you being right now? What is the signature of your energy in this exact moment? The shift you are waiting for is waiting for you to complete the old cycle of emotional addiction. The quantum field is infinitely responsive. It is more responsive than your spouse, than your boss, than your bank account. It mirrors you instantly. If you are not seeing the evidence of a new reality, it is because you have not yet become the evidence. You are looking for proof outside while ignoring the proof you are broadcasting inside. Knowing is not enough. This is the trap that catches most sincere people. They read the books, they attend the seminars, they understand the concepts intellectually. They can explain the quantum field, they can discuss the law of attraction, they can recite the principles of neuroplasticity. Yet their life remains stubbornly the same. This happens because they stopped at knowledge. They confused understanding with transformation. True transformation occurs when you move from the mind into the body. The mind can conceive of a new possibility. The mind can imagine a better life, but the body holds the past. The body is the storage unit for every emotion you have ever felt, every reaction you have ever repeated, every identity you have ever worn. If your body is not convinced of the new reality will never manifest. The body must be taught. This teaching process is the activation point. It is the moment you stop trying to figure out how your desire will happen and start generating the feeling of it already having happened. You cannot think your way into a new reality. You can only feel your way into it. Feeling is the language of the body. Feeling is the chemical signature that tells the universe you are serious. When you feel an emotion, you are broadcasting a frequency. Most people wait for the external event to cause the internal feeling. They wait for the money to arrive to feel wealthy. They wait for the diagnosis to clear to feel healthy. They wait for the partner to return to feel loved. This is backward. The external event is the effect, not the cause. The cause is your energy. The cause is your willingness to feel the end result before the evidence appears. This requires a level of faith that most are not willing to practice. The biological addiction to the familiar self is fierce. It will fight you. When you sit down to meditate and try to feel gratitude, the body may generate anxiety instead. It may generate boredom, restlessness, doubt. These sensations are not your enemy. They are feedback. They are showing you where you are still holding on to the past. They are showing you the gap between what you say you want and what you truly believe you deserve. To close that gap, you must stay present. You must breathe. You must observe the uncomfortable sensations without reacting to them. When you feel the anxiety of not knowing how things will work out, do not run from it. Do not distract yourself. Sit with it. Breathe into it. As you breathe, you signal safety to the nervous system. You teach the body that it is okay to not know. You teach the body that uncertainty is not danger. This is the death of the old self. It is uncomfortable by design. No one dies comfortably. The old personality, with its familiar worries and complaints, will thrash and scream as it loses its grip. It will tempt you with thoughts of giving up. It will whisper that this is a waste of time. It will remind you of every past failure. This is the moment of choice. This is the activation. If you stay, if you continue to breathe and generate the feeling of wholeness despite the body's resistance, something shifts. The electricity in your brain changes. The chemistry in your body changes. You are no longer the person trying to get something. You are the person being something. You become the living example of the new reality. At that moment, the quantum field has no choice but to rearrange itself to match you. You are not asking the universe for a new life anymore. You are demanding it by your state of being. The activation point is not outside you. It is in your willingness to feel the joy of the healed life while the wound is still visible. It is in your courage to feel the abundance of the wealthy life while the bank account is empty. That feeling, held consistently without wavering, is the force that moves mountains. A woman came to one of the advanced workshops several years ago. She was suffering from a condition that doctors had labeled incurable. Her body was in constant pain. She had tried every treatment, every medication, every therapy. Nothing worked. She came to the event not hoping for a cure, but hoping for some relief, some moments of peace from the relentless discomfort. Her face carried the weight of years of struggle. During the meditation on the first day, she tried very hard. She tried to visualize her body healing. She tried to see the cells repairing, the inflammation leaving, the pain dissolving. But the harder she tried, the more tension she created. Her body would not cooperate. The pain was too loud. The fear of never getting better was too present. She left the meditation feeling like a failure. She believed she was doing something wrong. The second day, something shifted in her approach. She stopped trying to fix herself. She realized that all her efforts to get well were coming from a place of sickness. Every visualization was a reminder that she was broken. Every affirmation was a confession of lack. She was stuck in a loop of trying to become what she was not yet, and that effort kept her separate from the very thing she wanted. During the next meditation, she decided to surrender, not to the disease, but to the moment. She stopped asking for anything. She stopped visualizing. She simply focused on her breath and allowed herself to be present. In that presence, she touched a space of peace she had not felt in years. It was not a loud experience, it was subtle, it was quiet. For a few moments, she forgot she was sick. She forgot she was a patient. She was just awareness. In that state of being, something interesting happened. Her body began to soften. The tightness around her chest loosened. The ache in her joints dimmed. She was not making this happen. She was allowing it to happen by getting out of her own way. She had moved from the person trying to heal to the person experiencing wholeness. The shift was not something she did, it was something she became. After the event, she returned home. She did not wake up the next morning completely cured. That is not always how it works. But she woke up different. The desperation was gone. The constant scanning of her body for pain had stopped. She went about her day not as a sick person waiting to get well, but as a person who had touched peace and knew it was possible to touch it again. Weeks passed. She continued the practice of surrender. She continued sitting in the unknown and allowing herself to feel whole, even when the body complained. She stopped giving the pain her attention. She stopped telling the story of her incurable condition. She stopped identifying with it. The identity of the sick woman was slowly starving to death because she was no longer feeding it with her thoughts and feelings. Months later, she went back to the doctor for a routine checkup. The test came back clear. The condition was gone. The doctors could not explain it. They called it a spontaneous remission. She called it surrender. She understood that the healing did not come from fighting the disease. It came from withdrawing her energy from the disease. It came from no longer being the person who had the disease. This is the power of moving from knowing to being. She knew all about healing. She had read the books, she had done the research, but it was only when she stopped knowing and started being that her reality shifted. The moment she surrendered the need to control the outcome and simply became the peaceful awareness in the present, the quantum field responded to her new signature. She did not heal herself. She became the version of herself that was already whole. Addiction is not limited to substances. The most powerful addiction you face is the addiction to your emotional identity. You have spent decades training your body to feel a certain way. You have become comfortable in discomfort. You have made peace with worry. You have befriended your anger. These emotions are familiar neighbors. They knock on your door every day and you let them in. This must stop today. Step one is consciousness without judgment. You cannot change what you cannot see. Begin observing yourself throughout the day. Notice when the old feelings arise. Notice when the familiar thoughts of lack, resentment, or fear cycle through your mind. Do not criticize yourself for this, simply witness it. Say to yourself, there is the old me. There is the addiction speaking. Observation without engagement begins the process of withdrawal. Step two requires refusal. When that familiar thought appears, you must refuse to think it again. When that familiar feeling rises in your chest or your stomach, you must refuse to let it take over. This is uncomfortable. The body will scream for its fix. It wants the adrenaline of anger. It wants the numbing of sadness. It wants the distraction of worry. Your job is to sit in the discomfort and breathe. Do not pick up the thought. Do not feed the feeling. The craving will pass. Cravings always pass if you do not feed them. They rise, they peak, and they fall. Most people never discover this because they give in at the peak. They let the feeling drive. They let the thought multiply. They believe the lie that this feeling is who they are. It is not who you are. It is just a chemical program running on repeat. You can end the program by refusing to participate. Step three is elevation. Once you have refused the old feeling, you must replace it. Nature abhors a vacuum. If you simply push away the old without bringing in the new, the old will return. You must consciously generate the emotion of your future self. What does the healed version of you feel? What does the free version of you feel? What does the successful version of you feel? Feel that now. This is not positive thinking. This is positive feeling. Thinking is the mind talking to itself. Feeling is the body listening. You must get the body to listen to a new message. You do this by generating the feeling of gratitude without a reason. You generate the feeling of love without an object. You generate the feeling of power without an external cause. These are elevated emotions. They change your chemistry. Practice this in small moments. Someone cuts you off in traffic and the old anger rises, stop, refuse, breathe. Then generate calm, generate understanding, generate freedom from the need to be right. This is a rep in the gym of self creation. Each time you do this, you weaken the addiction. Each time you do this, you strengthen the new neural circuit. Each time you do this, you teach your body a new identity. The tough love part is this: no one can do this for you. Your mother cannot do it. Your partner cannot do it. Your therapist cannot do it. This is your work. This is your evolution. Every time you choose the old feeling, you are voting for the old reality. Every time you choose a new feeling, you are casting a ballot for a new life. The election happens every moment. The majority wins. You will have setbacks. You will have days when the addiction feels stronger than you. On those days, do not judge yourself. Judgment keeps you stuck. Simply start again, breathe again, refuse again, elevate again. The comeback is always faster than the fall if you do not wallow in guilt. Guilt is just another old feeling. Let it go. Return to the breath, return to the new self. This action plan is simple but not easy. It requires discipline. It requires waking up from the trance of your life. It requires admitting that you have been addicted to suffering. Once you admit it, you can recover. Once you recover, you can create. Once you create, you become the living proof that change is possible. That proof is the greatest gift you can offer to a world still asleep in its old feelings. The loop is now closed. What began 7 minutes ago as a moment of potential has become a state of being. The 777 activation was never about a date on a calendar. It was about your willingness to use that date as a portal. You walked through it. You moved from knowing to being. You surrendered the old identity. You broke the addiction. The shift is no longer coming. It is here. This new reality you stand in does not look different yet. Do not be fooled by appearances. The external world is always the last to change. It is dense. It moves slowly. It takes time for the quantum field to rearrange particles into the new circumstances you have become. Your job now is not to check for results. Your job is to maintain the frequency. Your job is to protect your new energy at all costs. Do not look for evidence with your old eyes. Those eyes were trained to see lack, to see limitation, to see problems. You have new eyes now. You have the eyes of the person who completed the cycle. You have the eyes of the person who died to the past. When you look at your world, look for signs of alignment. Look for the small synchronicities. Look for the unexpected kindness. Look for the sudden idea. These are the first drops of rain before the storm. The reality you desired is already forming. It is forming in the invisible realm of potential. It is coalescing around your new energy like iron filings around a magnet. You do not need to chase it. You do not need to manipulate people or circumstances. You simply need to remain the person you became during this activation. Remain in that elevated state. Remain in that surrender. Remain in that peace. When doubt knocks, and it will knock, do not answer. When fear whispers, and it will whisper, do not listen. When the old feelings rise, and they will rise, do not become them. Observe them, breathe through them. They are the death throes of a reality that can no longer contain you. They have no power unless you give them your attention. Your attention is your life force. Spend it wisely. Many people reach this point and sabotage themselves. They have a moment of clarity, a moment of shift, and then they go looking for problems. They scan their environment for something wrong. They pick fights with reality. They test the new self against old circumstances. This is a trap. The new self does not need to prove anything. The new self simply is. And in that being, the world rearranges. You have done the inner work. You have faced the addiction. You have chosen elevation over familiarity. Now you must trust the process, trust that the science is real, trust that the quantum field is responsive, trust that the energy you are broadcasting is being received. The delay between the broadcast and the manifestation is not punishment, it is the gestation period. Something is being born, birth takes time. While you wait, live your life. Do not put your life on hold until the manifestation arrives. That is the old way. That is waiting for the external to cause the internal. Live from the end now. Live as the person who already has the healed body. Live as the person who already has the abundant finances. Live as the person who already has the loving relationship. Let your actions today reflect your future, not your past. The shift is complete within you. The completion is real. The activation worked because you worked it. You showed up. You refused to stay small. You refused to remain a victim of your history. You became the creator. Now the creation must catch up to the creator. It is only a matter of time. Time is the distance between the unseen and the seen. That distance is collapsing with every breath you take. Go forth from this moment with the quiet confidence of the one who knows. You do not need to announce your transformation. You do not need to convince anyone. Your energy will do the talking. Your peace will be your proof. Your joy will be your testimony. The world will see you and wonder what happened. They will ask what you did. You can tell them the truth. You stopped waiting for the shift and you became it. The reality has shifted because you have shifted. The loop is closed. The cycle is complete. The new cycle begins now. Walk into it with your head up and your heart open. You are not the same person who started reading these words. You are the answer to your own prayer. You are the shift you have been seeking. Now live from that truth, live from that power, live from that peace. The field is listening and it is already moving.